By the end of 1938, Nazi pressure increased. Jews were expelled from most professions and trades. They were no longer permitted to own businesses or to be landlords. Most German Jews began to sink into poverty. In September, after Germany annexed the Sudetenland with the blessing of Britain and France, Hitler began to threaten Poland. In Germany, there were 70,000 Polish Jews. They became victims of the increasing tension. The Gestapo rounded up and deported 15,000 of them. The deportees were transported by train and dumped across the Polish border. The Poles didn't want them either, so for weeks thousands of Jews were stranded in a small border town, living as refugees, sheltering in farms and factories, with little food or water. One of the deported Jewish families had a son living illegally in Paris, a 17-year-old boy, Herschel Greenspan. On November the 3rd, Greenspan got a postcard from Poland with an anguished plea for help from his sister. 4 days later, the impoverished and desperate teenager, unable to leave France and help his family, went to the German embassy in Paris and shot a young diplomat, Ernst von Rath. 2 bullets hit him but did not kill him. Greenspan allowed himself to be arrested. A day later, the teenager made an eloquent plea. "I was not motivated by hatred, but by love for my father and my people, who have endured unbearable suffering," he said. "To be Jewish is not a crime. We are not animals. The Jewish people have a right to live." In Nazi Germany, where to be Jewish was a crime, propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels saw the shooting as an opportunity not to be wasted. He ordered all German newspapers to put the story on their front pages, as an incitement against German Jewry. Hitler was in Munich when he received news of the diplomat's death. It was an opportunity for action. Hitler left it to Goebbels to incite the stormtroopers. At 10 p.m., Goebbels announced the diplomat's death. In a wild tirade, "Comrades, we cannot allow this attack to go unchallenged," he proclaimed. "Together, we must plan what is to be our answer to Jewish murder." With these words, Goebbels set in motion the first major pogrom in Germany since the Middle Ages. As the meeting broke up, Nazi officials relayed instructions to party units all over Germany. The official instructions were precise: to attack Jewish synagogues and businesses, but not to loot, not to mistreat Jews physically, and not to harm foreign Jews. The whole operation was to be carried out in plain clothes to conceal official Nazi Party involvement. At midnight at the Würzburg Seminary, where Erwin Schild was a student, a mob arrived. By 2 o'clock on the morning of November the 10th, the pogrom was underway. The Nazis' main targets were synagogues, but private homes, shops, hospitals, old people's homes were also attacked. Everywhere the stormtroopers rounded up Jewish men for the concentration camps. As word spread of the mass arrests, Jewish men tried to avoid capture. Some Germans found the violence offensive and were shocked to see Nazi Party officials instigate criminal activity. They did what they could to help their Jewish friends and neighbors. As the atrocities continued, Germans were confused about who was really behind the pogrom. Official instructions broadcast on radio and ignored by Nazi stormtroopers were to refrain from attacking Jews physically. Many Germans who witnessed the brutality thought that the pogrom was being carried out against the wishes of Hitler. At 5 o'clock on the afternoon of November the 10th, Reich propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels issued an order to end the attack. Newspaper reports around the world the next morning revealed that Kristallnacht was a pogrom without precedent in European history. The attacks destroyed some 275 synagogues, 7,500 Jewish businesses, dozens of Jewish communal buildings, and damaged thousands of homes. The Nazis' estimate of Jews killed was almost 100. Though the Nazis admitted that nearly 100 people were killed, no one was ever charged. The German public were much more shocked by the damage to property visible everywhere. The Germans called the pogrom Kristallnacht, or Crystal Night, because of the amount of shattered glass. The total economic loss was enormous, tens of millions of Deutschmarks. The destruction of plate glass alone amounted to half a year's production of the Belgian glass industry. Economics Minister Hermann Göring was enraged by the cost. On November the 12th, at a specially convened meeting, party and government officials decided, since the pogrom was triggered by a Jewish assassin in Paris, it was the Jews who should bear the economic consequences, not the Germans. Some Jews paid a higher price. The post-Kristallnacht persecution fell most heavily on 30,000 Jewish men imprisoned in 3 large concentration camps. The Nazis were not yet thinking of organized mass murder. They just wanted Jews to leave the country. Between November the 18th, 1938, and the spring of 1939, they released most of the 30,000 men arrested on Kristallnacht, but almost 2,500 did not make it out alive. In the months after Kristallnacht, nearly all German Jews considered emigration. Tens of thousands left, but for many there was no country to accept them. The lucky ones got visas to far-away places, like Shanghai and Manchuria. The countries bordering Germany were almost completely closed to Jews. Even after Kristallnacht, the United States refused to increase its annual quota for Germany of 15,000. Canada, the worst of the Western democracies, accepted only a few hundred Jewish refugees a year. Jewish parents were desperate to get their children out of Germany.
Let the children suffer war no more, and let a peaceful world be given birth.
The only country to open its doors wide was Great Britain. 50,000 German Jews found refuge here in the first half of 1939, including 10,000 unaccompanied children sent abroad by their parents in a rescue effort called the Kindertransport.
And join the human family.
For 9-year-old Lisa Collier, the chance to go to England was like an unexpected holiday.
I heard that, they were given dolls on the train and that, chocolate and things like that. So everything sounded great to me. And I really did not need a lot of persuasion to go. But my worry at the airport, at the train station, was that my mother would cry before I got on the train. And I kept saying, don't cry, you mustn't cry. So we got on the train, and my last memory of Vienna was looking out of the window just before they pulled the blinds down and seeing green fields go by. And I thought, well, as soon as I get home, I'll have to tell them about the green fields and how nice it looked.